So today I have a very, very special guest, and I'm honored to have one of the most important veterinarian entrepreneurs, in my opinion, in the whole world. And this is Tom Marian with Equitom and Equine Care Group.
Nice to meet you. Happy to be here.
Thank you so much for being here. I'm honored for me to have you. Such a great presence to be, and I have learned so much already from you in the short amount of time that I have met you. But I feel like I have met you a long time because if you want to follow the social media for Equitom, it's amazing. They tell you everything that they do every day and how they're helping people and horses. But the most important thing that I wanted to interview you today is because I believe that we share some very specific goals in life, which is helping the veterinary profession. And
Exactly.
these particular interviews are usually directed to you, small animal veterinarian and equine veterinarian who are starting, new graduates, vet students, and young veterinarians. And there's nobody in the whole planet that I want you to get advice from than this guy sitting right here. So Tom, can you tell us a little bit about who you are, how you got into it, what are you doing, and how can you add value to our small and to our younger veterinarians in this industry?
Yes, so I'm Dr. Tom Marian. I'm an equine surgeon, and many years ago I came here to the United States, to specialize further in surgery. I was in different places here in the United States, and then I went back to Belgium, to Europe, and founded my own hospital because I was a dreamer, and I am a dreamer. And I founded Equitom more than 25 years ago, and I built it up to now the biggest equine hospital, in Europe.
Congratulations, biggest hospital in Europe.
Yes, but, now it starts getting interesting, as being a veterinarian for so long time, I did have a lot of frustrations. And I think a lot of things in our profession really needs to change. And in 2018, there was a big financial group, coming to me. They wanted to buy my hospital. And it felt so wrong, These were people, with a tie.
Corporate.
Yes, with a nice suit, They never touched the horse, they never smelled the horse, They never had reflux in their mouth. So I couldn't, And at that moment, there was a click like in my head, and I said, this is not okay, We should not sell our passion, to financial people. Our profession is a profession of passion. I became a veterinarian because I like horses, I like animals, and I want to save as much as I can. I didn't become a veterinarian to become a millionaire, for example, So then I decided we veterinarians, we need to make a group ourselves, because I don't know how it's in the United States, but in Europe we do have a lot of problems in our profession.
It's the exact same thing.
Yes, I think so. Suicide level, in veterinarians in Europe is 400% higher than the normal population. 35% of the young veterinarians, they go out of the profession after 3 years. Wow. This is horrible, This is horrible.
35% of young veterinarians
quit after 3 years, and they never come back, Wow. So we have a lot of burnouts. And
let me interrupt you for a second. And having said that, 35% of them quit the veterinary profession. And how expensive is the career, the veterinary school?
In Europe, we have a big advantage because you hardly have to pay anything. There's a lot of subsidiaries, how do you call it? So the studies are almost for free.
It just emphasizes that we struggle the same way in the United States, and a lot of time we blame it into the student loans.
Yes.
But you guys are having the same problems, and you don't have student loans.
And we don't have student loans.
How interesting is that?
Yes.
Sorry,
yes.
I interrupted you.
No, it's very interesting, and I think the big problem in our profession, is that there isn't enough collaboration between veterinarians, and I think our profession didn't evolve the last 20, 30 years. And I'm a veterinarian, and I always say I'm not very proud, of what we did the last 20, 30 years. Mm-hmm. Of course, we worked a lot,
Yes.
but we should evolve, with society. And I think things like collaboration, things like work-life balance. You know, we are veterinarians. You know, we studied a long time. We should be respected, you know what I mean, and we should use our intelligence and become more an entrepreneur. You know, not only a vet, but also be an entrepreneur. Take care of yourself, take care of your future. But I think the future of veterinarians is great. You know, it's fantastic. I think there's a whole new generation of young veterinarians coming up, and you know, with the new insights we have, we think we will create a better world for veterinarians, and I hope we can do that together, because we share the same values, you know, of collaboration, transparency, you know, work building together on the future, not selling our profession, but bringing it together. And for this reason, 3 years ago, I started, you know, a group with the name of Equine Care Group. It's a group made by veterinarians for veterinarians, and with that group I want to change our profession. I want to bring veterinarians together in one group to build together on the future, and that's what we are doing now for a little bit more than 3 years, and it's highly successful. And I think even in the United States there's a big opportunity, you know, to bring all the vets together, to work together, to focus also on education, you know, not only on veterinary medicine, but also education, you know, how to manage your career, you know, how to manage your money, you know, in a good way. So for me, the future is bright for all the young vets, you know.
I agree 100%. If you follow the interviews and the advice that I've been giving to young veterinarians for the last probably 2 or 3 years, is exactly the same thing. There's so much hope for the young veterinarians, and I wanted them to hear it not just from me, but to hear from somebody else who is already at the other side, who has already done that transformation.
Yes.
Now, for you to do that, you had to go through a process, because nobody is born like that, right? So you probably had to go through a process of what we call a transactional approach, where you were working every day, working very hard. Exactly. Then you probably went through a transition where maybe at some point you were getting a little bit tired, maybe a little bit overwhelmed, maybe you got some frustrations along the way.
A lot.
And then you did something called a transformation, which is when you say, hey, I'm going to make something big, and I'm really comfortable that I can do it. Exactly. So we call that the 3 T's: transformation, transaction, transition, transformation.
Yes.
Can you give our audience an idea of what was that for you? Because that must have been very exciting. I know we don't have a lot of time, but in a short period of time, maybe a 2 or 3 minute, maybe 5.
You know, I think already as a student, they didn't motivate me at the university. You know, already as a student, they said, you know, there are too many veterinarians, there is no future. I say, what is happening here, you know? And we all know that there's so much work in veterinary medicine, and we are looking for good veterinarians all the time, but they motivated me a little bit from the beginning. And then I came in practice, and of course, like you say, I worked very hard to build up Equitom, to make it so big. But in the meantime, I learned to understand the veterinary world, you know, I learned to understand the business. And then I saw the frustrations, you know, and then I said, okay, instead of selling my hospital, I will never sell it, you know, let us change, you know, let us battle these frustrations, let us change the world for the future of the veterinarians. And I always thought, okay, the universities, they will not do it, the barn or the order, how do you call it here in the United States, but they will not do it. Yep. And then I said, okay, we vets, we need to do it ourselves, you know, and we should talk to our competitors, you know, we should work together, we should, you know, understand that this is the only way to create a better future for the veterinarians. And that's exactly what we did.
What was your biggest challenge, you would say, going from recent graduate into realizing that you could have a living, that you could make a good living being an equine veterinarian? What was the biggest challenge you faced back then? I would say 20 years ago.
You know, in the beginning of your career, you're just focused on working, and that's not okay. So during your university studies, of course, it's important they teach you, how become a good veterinarian, but they should, also teach you how become a good entrepreneur, how to structure your profession. And this is something I think during our studies, at least in Europe, there is not enough focus on that. And so I had to learn it by myself, by falling, and rising up again and falling, But I think people like me and you, we can teach, students not to make the same mistakes. So that's the reason why I think that the future for them is much brighter, because we can be there as mentors and guide them, and how do you say it? To avoid them make the same mistakes and I had to work, like hell for 25 years to have now a great future, and that's not okay. I think now we can provide a great future for young veterinarians from the beginning, because they are coming in a group where people work together. There is a future, there is transparency, and that's important,
And how fast can you transfer to a young vet your 20 plus years of experience? How fast can you transfer it that they actually get it, grasp it, and are able to accomplish their personal, professional, and financial goals with the knowledge that you have given? At Equitom or Equine Care Group, what do you see
This
happening?
can go very fast.
Very fast, right?
Yes, this can go very fast. We struggled for many
Right.
years because we didn't have the mentors. We didn't have the structure present, Mentorship, it's all that. So you can learn that, in 3 years, easy.
Wow.
Very easy. And I see it with young veterinarians coming with me in Equitom, I teach them two things: becoming a good veterinarian, a good specialist, but at the same time, we teach them, to become, a good businessman, because you have to think also about yourself, to create a good work-life balance, to be well paid, to also have a future in the company when you're in, with shares and everything, and this is very important.
I love it that you keep saying businessman, because here in the United States, there is this specific stigma that a veterinarian, to have his own business, means one vet getting on a truck, servicing patients, doing the billing, doing the calling, and doing everything. So there's a stigma in the United States where more than 80% of the veterinarians are businessmen, but they have a one-man business. What is your opinion of a one-man
It's
business?
finished. It's over.
It's over, right?
It's over. And luckily it's over, because that's the reason why, you have suicide level of 400% higher, etc., etc. That's the reason, our profession is not made to remain alone. You cannot manage all the facets, of business alone, You as a vet, you should focus, on your veterinary medicine aspect, but you should be like we make a group, and then you have the right people besides you to mentor you, to help you with all the other challenges and tasks in your life.
And for those of you who are not following yet, or maybe don't grasp it, what he's talking about is the importance of collaboration between professionals, collaborations between veterinarians, ourselves, in order to accomplish our personal, professional, financial goals. And this can be done by collaborating together, not necessarily by being one single person, like the older veterinary idea used to be, right? I remember when I used to tell veterinarians, hey, I want to be an equine vet. They would say, no, you don't do that. You cannot do that. That's not good. And that vet was a single vet in a truck, very, very stressed out, struggling a lot.
Yes. But that's exactly what we do in the group, the vets that are alone on the road, we take them in the group, that they're not alone anymore. So they have a lot of other colleagues to work with, to share knowledge. We do a lot of education in our group, and then all the administration, we take away of them. So when they are home, late in the evening or in the weekend, that they can have some time with their family. Mm-hmm. And this is the life, this is the future, of veterinarians.
You couldn't say this any better, and I'm not going to take much of your time. I know that you're busy, but before we go, I want to make sure you tell the audience how to find you, how to find your clinic, where can they follow you so they can learn not just from us, but from someone else who has already transformed to the other side?
Of course, with Equitom, we are on social media, of course. We have a lot of followers worldwide. Of course, we also have the website. You can always go on the website. And the Equine Care Group, also, the group now exists 3 years. We have more than 400 people, working with us in the group. So it's an amazing project. So go see on the website of Equine Care Group. If you have questions, send us a mail. We are happy to share our vision and happy to help, veterinarians all over the world.
Tom, we appreciate you coming here with us. I learned a whole lot from you today, and I learned that collaboration, it is actually the key to the success.
Yes.
And we are going to be spreading this to all veterinarians throughout the world. And I want to make sure that your message is listened all around the world, because I appreciate it, respect it, and I'm humble what you have accomplished. Thank you.
Thank you. Cheers.
All right. How long was that?
Very good.